The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. Let's get into the site review.
Hello everyone, this is Katie with Zenfolio Customer Support, bringing you yet another Zenfolio live site review for Site Review Tuesday. I would first like to start by thanking Zack for submitting his site for our review. Today we're going to be looking at lazyiPhoto.com, and I can't wait to explore this site with everyone. It's really near and dear to me and has some personal connections that I will share along the way. Hopefully won't draw too much attention away from Zack's site here, but just know that everyone is in for a treat with some really beautiful photography. And just kind of as an introduction, I guess, for me, reading about Zack's story and looking over his site, it reminded me of why so many of us first get started doing photography, when really what's compelling to us is being able to capture that moment as beautifully as possible, being inspired by beautiful things. And I hope that you all will be inspired today looking over Lazy Eye Photo's site. So, as you see here, we're going to start right here on the home page of lazyiPhoto.com. Zack is using one of the custom layouts that are only available on our home page, but he's done a really nice job of sizing his custom logo, and I really love what he did here with these site menu items and renaming those and putting his personality into really every part of his site. So just so everyone can really get a feel for just what we're dealing with here, because we're dealing with a master of the art. Zack's photographs are just stunning, are they not? They're just, Mr. Tuesday, rest in peace. Oh my god. Usually when it comes to having lots of images on a home page, I like to recommend that the images be culled a little bit so that It draws attention to the best of the work, but honestly, there is so much great work in here that it didn't cause me any pain just to go ahead and keep on scrolling. Oh my goodness. There's some really great artwork in here. Again, thank you, Zack, for submitting this site. Also, I am genuinely curious if you are lazy-eyed, because that would be another thing we have in common. Okay, so, not too much as far as criticism here on the home page. I really like how these thumbnails are spaced. I really love the images that have been chosen here. The site menu looks great, and we got this handy Facebook link here. So, let's go ahead and start digging in. Oh, also, I did want to mention that I really did enjoy that Zack is putting these buy options with the social icons on the thumbnails. And you get a little bit more information here when hovering over some of these images, but it might be a good idea just to go through and maybe edit the titles of all the images that are being used here, just for consistency. Sometimes the overlays I find a little distracting, but if folks are able to click on that buy button and share these images, which I hope they will do because they're awesome, then, then that overlay will do its job by only appearing when you've hovered over the image. So let's go on here into our photographs. And this is leading into the all photographs group of the account. Sometimes this isn't a great idea if you're using your all photographs group to house lots of different galleries and groups that are not really optimized for a visitor view, but Zack has done a really nice job of organizing his account so that you can really quickly and easily access concert, band, press, wedding, client galleries, New Orleans, commercial. So I think this is a really effective way of delivering images here. It's very well organized, and these cover thumbnails are also great. Also, you'll see that even though Zack has used almost primarily concert photography on his homepage, as we go through some of his galleries, you'll see that really beautiful photographs. Yeah, okay, so let's dig in here a little bit. So for this concert photography gallery, it looks like it's the same gallery that's being used on the home page. And there's nothing especially wrong with this, especially if it's being used as a portfolio gallery. But in this case, I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? I would love to hear your thoughts. Is it better to maybe split into a couple different galleries and use fewer images in the concert photography portfolio? Is it okay to have the same images on the home page versus the portfolio page? I would love to know your thoughts. Also, in the all photographs or our photographs site menu item, one thing that I might consider with this site menu would be to find a way of incorporating that same conversational style with the rest of the site menu, and maybe do a drop down on our photographs with the different genres of photography under there, just to make it a little bit easier for clients and visitors to navigate back and forth between the main page and then once they start clicking into these portfolio galleries, to help them get back where they started. Just something to consider there. Some very cool behind the scenes band photography. Really love these. I love the muted tones in this one especially. These are really fun. So you'll see from band press photography, if we go home, we're going to head back to this home page, and we got to dig back into our photographs to get back where we started. So it might be useful either to include the all photographs group in the breadcrumbs, or to do a drop down here under our photographs. I really wanted to show off this wedding photography portfolio because you can see that Zack really is a jack of all genres when it comes to photography. I love how you can still pick out his aesthetic in these wedding photos, but for me it gives him a little bit of a more particular eye. I love this shot in the cemetery. So definitely a distinctive visual style here in these wedding photos. I'll just go back to the browser for now. Have a look at the commercial photography. So it looks like we've got an empty gallery here in commercial photography. So that's something. Oh, nope. It was just my browser. Okay. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. King cakes. It's almost time. These look great. Looks like you're also doing some custom design work too, maybe? But these king cakes look delectable. And these are some nice photos in here. Got to pull up some New Orleans photographs. I really hope I don't go over time with this one. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at these photos. Guys, they're so good. I Miss You, Decatur Street. Just wonderful. Really great work. I love when people can find that seemingly unattainable balance between the art of photography and the business of photography. And it looks like Zack really has explored and leaned into his passion here. Fantastic. And then you can see here that under our photographs and then client galleries, that Zack has all of his client work here posted with or without preview thumbnails. So I think this is a really effective way of delivering those photos to your clients. There's good consistency with the information in the gallery titles, and I really love how the thumbnails have been set up with this consistent sizing between that you would see on the home page and then these other galleries. So quite a lot of galleries in here. I'll go ahead and scroll back up and won't dig into the client sections too much since they're not really for us. Alright, so we'll go on and head back to the home page for now. But then we've got to find out, y'all want to chat? I thought maybe it's going to be like a live chat thing, but it's not. It's just a contact page. But there's something about y'all want to chat that made this so exciting for me. I love this personalized feel to the site. So one thing that did stand out to me a little bit was that the theme is maybe not entirely consistent. So it looks like this page, the All Photographs page, has a different theme applied to it than the Y'all Wanna Chat. So you can see that the footer is a little different here, and there's a gradation applied to the header. It might be worth going in and checking the themes that are applied to your pages, just so there's a little bit more consistency across the site. Some social media links there, it's very helpful. It all started, and you get a Zenfolio about page, but I was really touched reading about Zack's story. I also happened to go to the University of New Orleans, so this site review really was. I also started on a Nikon, wasn't the D90, but the D3100 isn't that far off. But I would definitely encourage everybody to go to lazyiPhoto.com and check out Zack's About page and read more about his story. New Orleans is a beautiful place. I spent 8 years there, and I miss it all the time. And this really made me miss it, going through this sun. Want to shout out? Okay, so here we definitely see some room for improvement. So want to shout out with a link to the built-in guest book on the website. And since there hasn't been too much activity here, it might be worth maybe collecting some customer testimonials and do a custom page instead of using the built-in guest book. That way you don't have the dates tied in there. A visitor might show up here and say to themselves, I don't know if he's still doing photography. These dates are really crazy. So what I would personally recommend is maybe grabbing some of this feedback, grabbing some feedback from more current clients, and then create a custom page. Maybe even include some images of the work that was done. So I would say that would be one way of really improving this here. And you can see this has also got that different theme. Let's go ahead and go to the blog. I love the blog layout in the summary page. I think that maybe as we get into these posts, there's a little bit of room for improvement, but I definitely love the images that have been chosen here. And looks like Zack experienced the worst nightmare scenario of all working photographers who might have gear on them at some point. Looks like all of Zack's gear got stolen out of his car. That is so sad. I'm so glad, though, as I was reading this blog post, that it really was a happy ending, because Zack was able to raise some money via GoFundMe to help him get his business back off the ground. It's so lovely to know that people really do love their photographers, want to see them succeed, want to see them keep shooting. So I was really touched reading a little bit more into this blog page. Looks like a good use of keywords. And I really love the custom graphics that I got to see as I was going through different parts of Zack's site. But one thing that may or may not be useful, I'm not sure, since these are posts that deal with specific times, every once in a while the conventional, and December 5th, how about that? It's been a couple years since the blog was updated. So, since that's the case, also, since I forgot to mention this at the beginning, this site review has been pre-recorded, but as you guys know, we are hanging out with you in chat. What do you guys think about posting a blog and having it in a site menu, but maybe not updating it all the time? I think that since these stories are still relevant, even if Zack is not updating his blog all the time, it's evident when we went into our photographs that he is still doing work for clients as of 2019. So you think remove the date from the blog post? Leave it there? I would love to know your thoughts. So, Zack, thank you. Thank you for putting in the time and effort and care necessary to really articulate your craft. I was so inspired to see these images. I've had way too much fun, really, with this site review, and I hope that you guys have too. Zack, if you happen to stop into Lakeside Camera Photoworks in Metairie at any time, please tell them Katie said hello. That's my old stomping grounds there. I don't know who would be behind the counter at this point, but as for Ginger or Dawn, and maybe they'll be sweet to you. It really is an art, you guys. A lot of photography settles in, leans in, settles for that technique. And while that technique is so necessary, it's about the passion that motivates it, right? It's about the spirit, the soul, or the inspiration that makes you go out and keep going and keep shooting and keep finding ways to see that the world is beautiful even when terrible things happen. I found Zack's story and his photographs inspiring, as I've said multiple times here in the site review. And while there are some things that could be improved on the site, it also has a lot of strengths. Between the photographs and the conversational language in the site menu, I had nothing but an enjoyable experience exploring the site, and I hope you guys did too. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.